Welcome to Journey Through the Innerverse. Hi, Alexis. How are you doing?
Hello. Oh, I'm actually doing really good today. I feel like this is the first day in a while where I'm just kind of existing. Things have been very busy and it has just weighed heavy on me the last several weeks. Um, and I talked a little bit about this with you before we got on, the video, but, I would say the best way to describe how I feel energetically right now is like I can physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually feel these shifts, like these big shifts moving through, and like it feels very unstable. Like I kind of feel like I'm kind of stuck in this liminal. So I'm very, very excited to move right into that new year and be pushed forward by the year of the horse.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel okay. I mean, talking to you for like an hour before we started actually recording, doing what we are supposed to do, what we came to do.
Yep.
I feel really good. Like before I was kind of like, like having a stomach ache, and I also have a little bit of shoulder pain. But anyway, I feel good in this moment. I feel really inspired. I also do feel that just energy of being in a liminal space. And for me, it's like I feel this immense amount of just focus, or yeah, just focus on just existing right now, just being still. And we're recording this on December 30th. So we're 2 days from the new year. Or I guess you could say like 1.5 days because we're in the evening now here. But it's pretty much a blizzard where I am in upstate New York. And so I'm literally physically like still. I'm not going anywhere for a little bit. And I'm happy. I'm happy that, Christmas was great, and I had, the social things I had to do. That some of them I wanted to do. But I'm glad that that's been done, and now I can just chill at least for a couple days. I don't know how long this stillness will last. So I'm grateful for it. I'm happy to be in Capricorn season, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the new year. And like I was saying with Alexis, like I'm now beginning to feel that I'm in reflection mode, reflection of the year, and the intentions, and just kind of like that near, like, what is it, the near future, like perspective or vision, like what I desire for 2026. But it's going to be very organic, very loose, nothing like serious. But I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to this horse energy that we've been learning about. So I'm excited. So as I mentioned, we are recording an intro here, as you probably noticed, because we are sharing a previously recorded episode with Dream Oracle for You host Sarah and Bijana. We recorded this on November 24th, so a little bit over a month ago. And so we've been really excited to release this chat.
Absolutely. Yeah, in this episode, we discuss different topics such as the transitional phases and how they impact our dreams, astral travel while pregnant, um, ley lines, personal dream practices, and just dreams in general. We learn a lot about Biljana and Sarah and how they move through the dream space. And it was just a really wonderful conversation.
Yeah, it was really cool to catch up with them. So we have actually been on 2 episodes of Dream Oracle for You, which is their podcast. And it was, long overdue that we had them on Welcome or on Journey Through the Innerverse. And so I really enjoy talking to them. And it's always nice to really just learn other people's perspectives of dreams and how their dreams unfold. Like, how long have they been paying attention to their dreams? What kind of dreams do they experience often? Like, what do they do in their dreams? Like, how do they integrate that in their waking life? And so we really kind of briefly, but somehow, like, we go deep with a lot of these different concepts. And so we're really excited to share it with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a great conversation. And it's just so fun, like you said, to learn about how other people experience dreams. I mean, that's what makes dream work so fun. No one person is having a dream like the person next to them, even if it's a similar theme, even if you feel like you're meeting there, there's still aspects that are entirely your own thing. And it's just a different perspectives, how people do it, what they take from it. It's just a wonderful thing to learn about and explore.
So we do have a few announcements that we're going to share with you before we switch it over to our special episode tonight. Um, Alexis, do you want to share about Dreamigos, the usual?
Absolutely. So if you guys don't already know, Urania and I work for a developing app called Dreamigos. This is a wonderful platform where you can save your dreams in a variety of different ways. You can do a talk to text, you can upload a picture, or you can just type it out. You can keep them private for yourself, or you can put them on the Dreamline, where other dream experts like Urania and I go on and give some tips and interpretations and guidance. You can find this app on the Apple App Store or on the Google Play Store. I think one of the coolest parts about this app though is the fact that you get one free dream circle every month. And it's a great place where we can all meet up as dreamers and learn about a new topic or just have an open discussion. So if you haven't downloaded it today, do it today.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love Dreamigos and I love, love, love the dream circle. That's always fun. Just even as one of the dream experts, it's always nice to show up and just be there as a participant and yeah, just be in the circle and community of people who are inspired, curious, and excited about dreams. So it's really amazing. So I have one more announcement on January 25th of 2026. I'm going to be teaching an online class. I've taught this class before, so I'm really excited to do another round. And this one is centered on lucid dreaming. It's called Lucid Dreaming 101. And I will essentially assist you in becoming a conscious dreamer, therefore, hopefully helping you to accelerate your healing and spiritual transformation. That's kind of my perspective and my, I guess you could say, goal within this class is to help you to see how lucid dreaming it goes beyond pleasure seeking and it being a fun thing to try out to something that can be very healing and transformative for yourself in your waking life. And then also that will help to, transform your dreaming life as well. And so again, that's going to be on January 25th. It's online, so you can join me wherever you are. So yeah, that's the announcements for tonight. And thank you again for supporting us and journeying with us. And we're excited to step into the new year with you. And anything else, Alexis, you have that you want to share?
Just pay attention to your dreams from here on out. I mean, this is a transitional period. We're moving from the year of the snake, where we shed a lot of skin and learned a lot of lessons. And now we're moving into this new year where the horse is going to help push us towards our goals and spark us with ambition and drive. Pay attention to how your dreams are and how they are from now moving through that portal into the new year and then after, and compare and contrast, see how you feel. It's always a fun experiment, especially when we have a new year coming up.
Awesome. Don't forget to like and subscribe and enjoy the episode. Welcome to Journey Through the Interverse. I am really, really excited. I'm sure you can probably see it on my face if you're watching the video, or you can hear it in my voice. We have two special guests with us, long awaited, our dear friends Sarah and Bijana. Welcome to Journey Through the Interverse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So I'm going to have Sarah and Bijana share a little bit about themselves, but we came into connection with both of them through their podcast, Dream Oracle for You. And it was just so amazing to, again, come into connection with other dreamers who are excited to share on these different topics. And not only are they sharing about their own perspectives, but they also interview many other dreamers. And so when you tune into their podcast, you get to really see and connect with different perspectives in the realm of dreams. And so it was long overdue to have both of you two here with us tonight. So, with that said, do you want to introduce yourselves and share, anything that you would like?
Yeah, for
Go for
sure.
it, Sarah.
Oh, you want me to go first? Oh, okay. I was gonna pass the puck to you.
I'm used
Um,
to you going first, and then I'll go second.
yeah, that's right. That's right. But it's a different dynamic from our normal, recording sessions. But well, hello everyone. My name is Sarah. I have a PhD in organic chemistry, which is very far from the realm of dreams, but I will say that I've always had an interest in dreams. And it's been the last few years where I've become more connected to the universe that I realized that dreams, there's just something more about dreams. And through our podcast, Dream Oracle for You, we have definitely have learned and grown a lot and shaped our understanding of dreams. Who else am I? I'm a soon-to-be mother, very, very close to my due date, so that's very exciting. Actually, the baby will be born probably by the time this is posted online, so that's exciting. And I find myself, I am most happy, besides, recording and talking about dreams, which is always amazing and fun, but I am most happy when I am helping others be the best that they can be. And usually that's in terms of energy work.
Mm.
So I keep changing my name, but I was thinking about it today. I classify myself as an energy guide and healer, I guess. So I can help you manage your energy field, your environment, and just help you take control of who you are. So yeah, Biljana.
I love that. That's so cool. I'm feeling really drawn to like just lay out I suppose who I am in such a raw thing because I normally have a little polished of who I am and try to I don't sound professional, but who I am, I guess I've got no labels. I don't know who I am. I'm just me. But yeah, I don't know where to start. I suppose I'm at the moment I'm traveling around Australia and wanting to connect with different people and not necessarily just with dreams, but in general. And it's been such a fascinating journey, learning more about myself, but also like people's backgrounds and their experiences and what they learn. And even if the people are not on the same page as me, it's so refreshing to then be able to share what I know about life and dreams and that sort of thing. So that's who I am, I guess. I'm yeah coming more into myself at the moment. I can even feel it in my voice. It's like starting to loosen up, and I'm ready to speak my truth. So I'm really excited for this podcast to yeah and see where it goes. And yeah,
So, yeah, Biliana, I can really relate to the shedding of the identity and just like not like it's like yourself, but to like put it into words, as we were just saying here before we actually started the official chat, that language it's kind of hard when you have like you can feel it, you can have the idea and the picture and the vision, but to like bring it down into words can be kind of tricky. And you're on a journey, like a literal journey of exploration right now. So it makes sense that, you are not holding on to any sort of definition because you're just open. You're open to what's coming your way. You're open to the flowing organic energies. And so you're letting, at least this is what I'm picking up on, is like you're letting the divine energies and the experience like define you and create that sort of new chapter and possibly maybe new identity or just what you're evolving into. So that's incredible. And then Sarah, something similar where you're about to be a mom, and so you're really in that shedding process. And the other side is, even the birthing experience is the death portal, and then you're going to come outside as a whole entire new being. So that's really exciting. So thank you so much for taking time out of your life, because you both have some amazing things going on. Thank you so much for being here. Alexis, how are you? I'm doing a lot of
Hello.
talking.
I'm
I feel
doing good. I'm just taking in all of the information being given and really appreciating the time and space we have here together. I'm really interested, Biliana. Do you feel like there's a nomadic aspect, like to your spirit, that's kind of like being enhanced right now by the travels? Like, I feel my soul is always calling me to travel, but I just don't do it. And I feel like if I were to open up that door to really like allow myself to be elsewhere and explore and meet new people in that way, that it would shine a bright light inside of myself. So I'm living a little bit vicariously through you with that. But yeah, do you feel like that like nomadic light is like shining in you right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like for me, I feel like movement and motion, not necessarily physical motion all the time, but at the moment, like me traveling from place to place is really beneficial for me. I suppose just like helping the energy flow with everything that I'm learning and experiencing. The physical moving around definitely helps, and you get the sense of where people are at. Because when you're new to a space, I don't know, some people tend to open up to you like very quickly. So that's what I've found where I am at the moment, like staying on a houseboat, looking after a little dog. And so like the people around me have just kind of like swarmed to me without even trying, because it's just like it's a new person, new perspective, something they probably have needed in their own lives. I'm not saying I'm special, but it happens to even myself as well.
Yeah.
You just get drawn to people, and you get what you need to then go back into your own life. So yeah, it's very interesting. And I was having a conversation this morning talking about synchronicities with the owners. They've just got back, and it was just so interesting. Like I was talking to Sarah about it yesterday. I get 23 pop up a lot for me, and then like in sequences of three, and so I'm still diving into this thing. But yeah, it was very trippy what came through. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
at the moment
Later in the chat if there's time, because now I want to know. Like, wait.
well, it might be something that will come through in a dream at some point, but I don't know if you want to hear it now. It's not really relevant to dreams, but
We'll save it for the end because I have a
yeah,
feeling that, this podcast is dreams, astral travel, and mysticism. So
yeah,
we're really drawn into astral travel and dreams, of course, but then I feel like the mysticism is kind of like, okay, just like all of it, like all of the synchronicities and the
yeah,
divine mystery of existence and so forth, just to have, like, we can't not have that when we talk about dreams and so
yeah.
forth. So I feel that the conversation is going to open up to that as we continue to flow.
I do have
Yeah.
a question um, for both of you, Biliana and Sarah. Since you both are going through these transformative periods in your life, have you noticed that your dream space has been changing? And if so, like what have you been experiencing within your dream space through these transitional periods?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Actually, when you were talking, Alexis, about living vicariously through Biliana with her traveling and whatnot, I was just like, well, I travel every night. Like that's what I do in the dream
Mhm.
space. Have my dreams changed? I definitely have been asked this question, especially because sometimes with pregnancy, they say that your dreams are more vivid or they change or whatnot. Um, I would say it fluctuates, just like your normal dream cycles fluctuate anyway, depending on where you are. You know, if you've got a lot going on in your life, you might not be dreaming as much because you're not focused on that. What has been really cool though with being pregnant and dreaming is that I'm often pregnant in my dreams, which is kind of cool. So it's
Oh,
yeah, so there's always something surrounding that. And it's not just like, like anxiety type pregnancy dreams of like, the birthing process or anything like that. It's like literally like I'm traveling somewhere and I'm actually pregnant while I'm traveling. So that has been quite interesting. I'm just known to travel throughout my dream space. And since being pregnant, my energy work has actually, I don't know, enhanced perhaps is a word to describe it. So much so that I actually continue to do energy work while I'm dreaming. So I've actually been present with other healers in the dream space and, helping people through trauma and that sort of stuff. So it's a fascinating. I love dreams.
Nice.
Wow, that's incredible. That's fantastic. And when you say you're like, are you planning on meeting other dreamers in the dream space and then it happens and you do the work together, or is it more spontaneous?
I think that I am just part of my who I am on a soul level. I'm very much active in the dream space. So as an energetic healer, if you will, in both the physical reality and the dream space as well. So that's like something future we want to work on. I know we just recently had a guest on our podcast, Estelle Larson. She was also our first dreamer for our dream course. And so one of the things that we want to focus on is like myself, Bijana, and her like meeting up in the dream space, like actually consciously make an effort to do that to see what happens.
And
Yeah.
so, go ahead.
Oh no, I just
Oh,
want to comment because it's interesting to hear that. I mean, I feel I hear most people say that their intuitive abilities or just like their gifts kind of are enhanced when they're pregnant. I mean, I guess depending on what it is. And it was interesting for me, it was a little bit different. And I know it's because I have always been ungrounded, not in like a bad way, but just like very easy for me to slip out of my body. Like when I wasn't really focusing on the dream space, I was focusing on like astral travel through deep trance meditation and go on journeys from there. But once I was in my second trimester, I could not, like, I couldn't get out of my body. I couldn't drop in. And also, this was happening like in a trance state, not in a dream. So that could have been slightly different. But it's just interesting because I feel that my lesson, and I felt that for a while after having her, was that I had to be present in my body because I'm like, I mean, I could go in a meditation for like before I was a mom, I would have a whole ritual where it'd be a whole like 2 hour thing where I'm out for an hour. It's like a whole thing, like the meditation and journaling beforehand and then after. And that was my thing. I wasn't very present in, reality in some ways. And so being a mom, it was like, oh, okay. And like my pregnancy experience was very like, in my body. And so it's really interesting. I've always been like, oh, I wish that, my abilities got stronger. And maybe they did in other ways that I wasn't aware of, but I definitely did not have my astral experiences like I did initially.
So I want to clarify that, and like everything you're saying completely resonates with me because when I say that I travel, it's more like consciously traveling as opposed to an actual out of body experience. Although I have had many times before being pregnant where I've had actual out of body experiences in the dream space. But I think there's a level of protection that comes when you're pregnant when it comes to astral traveling, because if you leave your body, you're literally leaving, an open vessel, right? And so, and you've got your baby growing in there, your baby's soul is in there, then there's a vulnerability that comes with that. And so there's a whole level of protection. And I feel that it's a level of protection. Now, I did recently have an experience, maybe a couple weeks ago, where I felt the sensation like I was trying to leave my body. And there was this mama bear mode just like kicked in, and it was like my body telling my soul or whatever. It's like, no, you cannot leave the body. We're pregnant. You can't do this. And it just like stopped it immediately. And then that was it. Now I don't know, maybe there was something nefarious trying to pull me out as well, because that has happened as well. But I just know that I felt it coming on and immediately stopped it and was like, and it sucks because I like out of body experience. It's a lot of fun. But there's definitely that level of protection that comes. But when I travel, I'm literally like tapping into all of the other aspects of myself and other
well, yeah, that was mainly,
timelines.
I was mostly conscious traveling too. But I know it was like, and what I know, and I guess I can wrap it up after this, but it was definitely intentional as far as like not having it anymore, because the last travel I remember was meeting her, and it was before I knew she was a girl. And she told me basically like how she chose us, why she chose us, like what her purpose is, her energy, and it aligned with, I mean, who she is now. So it
Oh.
it was very sweet, like bittersweet. And it took me up until probably like, this year where I could really drop into those kind of meditations again. And I still haven't really gotten to that sweet spot. And she'll be 6 in like 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's been a while, but I've accepted it and I am learning to be more present, like in my awareness. So it was a whole thing. But yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. I love that. I don't have kids. I have a dog, so
I
we,
also
we
don't
have
have
a
children.
similar connection. Um, in terms of my dreams, like if they've changed while traveling, hell yes. I've had not as many dreams, but pretty much every dream I had is so vivid, and I can like I write it down, but I don't have to write it down to remember it. It's still here. I can still feel it in my body, and like Sarah and I are different the way we I suppose, receive information about our dreams. And I really feel uh, in my body, like after I've had a dream. So when I still feel it, it's something that's happened, whether it's a memory or possibly remote viewing. I feel like I do that quite a bit. So yeah, it's been quite interesting. And for me, I won't share on here because the dreams were it's quite disturbing for me. Like a lot of healing dreams that I'm like going through from my childhood and that sort of stuff. So, but it's preparing myself for, I suppose, the next phase of my life. Like remembering all this stuff, even if it's bad, but then kind of letting it go and yeah, to move into like it's going through like that death phase of like letting it go to then come into yourself into 2026.
Year one. I'm so excited. So excited.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it makes me think of that was a great question, Alexis, because with you traveling, Biliana, it makes me think of I don't know specifically if it was ancient Egypt or if it was just the ancient cultures in general, but it was always recommended when it comes to healing, to go sleep outside of your house or sleep somewhere that you're not usually sleeping in, because by doing that, it will induce, like, basically the dreams are going to be different and you should be able to, get different guidance, or maybe the guidance is clearer. And, during those times, especially in ancient Egypt, they had the dreaming temples, and the dreaming temples were there to facilitate healing. And they use like herbal remedies and so forth, and, their own rituals and spell casting and whatnot to help the person with whatever they were, dealing with or whatever challenges they had going on. And them sleeping there was also, it was kind of almost like a form of disorientation because you're not in your normal space. So then that in some ways could alter your consciousness, or just, that dreaming part of yourself, to induce a type of dream. And when you integrate that with like the herbal remedies and the rituals and the spells, it can really draw out the healing or the guidance that will facilitate your healing. So whenever I am not sleeping at home, I really think about that, and I'm really excited to see how it influences my dream space. And so that's really cool to hear that, you've been having some really vivid, profound dreams while traveling.
Yeah, I love that. Like even like I'll have afternoon naps and I'll do it on the grass. Like I'll just fall asleep on the grass and I feel like that's when I have really um I don't know like dreams that really shift my energy. Like it's hard to explain. But yeah, generally when I sleep on the grass somewhere out in nature, that's when I have real profound shifting energies. Yeah, so
That's
cool.
like a dream, literally. That's so amazing.
I love that. I love that so much. That's so beautiful. And I'm sorry if I keep kind of glazing over. I'm like cloud watching behind you.
Yeah,
I'm like
it is
gazing at the
something that
clouds,
like
just watching it go by.
I think there was a bird that kind of flew by really quickly just a minute ago.
Yeah,
Like
there was a
it went
bird.
darting by really fast. It caught my attention. Okay, so I really, really, and I'm sure Alexis does too, we really want to know how the both of you got into dream work. I mean, and then also I would love to know how Dream Oracle for you came together as well. So storytelling time.
Should I start, or I'll start with kind of where I've gone with dreams, and then yeah,
You were reading my mind, right, Biliana? I was like, it's just like, Billy, go, 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 you
yeah.
first.
So I've kind of been aware of my dreams. I wouldn't say from a young age, but always been aware of everything. So, it's only natural that you take notice of your dreams if you're, a bit more in tune with the world around you. But I never, I suppose, wrote my dreams down. I was always journaling and thinking of like my own inner thoughts and stuff, writing that down. So when it come to dream journaling, probably in the last 5 years, um, it was just like a natural thing, just as soon as you wake up, you're writing it down. And as we've been doing the podcast and teaching other people and having these conversations like with you guys, just taking more notice of like, the dates, like how I felt when I woke up, and yeah, the even the moon phase. I've started doing that. Not really understanding that the energies as such with that, but that's kind of like where my dreams have gone, and now I'm starting to go more into using my dreams as like a therapeutic tool for myself. So if there's certain situations or people that I want to interact with, or like, having family discussions that maybe I'm not ready to have, but I use my dream as a way to kind of facilitate that, and maybe shift energy in myself. So if it happens in real life, then it's a lot easier, I guess. Um, or even shift the energies in the dream that the conversation doesn't need to happen in real life. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So yeah. And yeah, Sarah, you talk about your dreams, and then we'll mention how we kind of met.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Alexis and Urania, this is your podcast. So if you have any commentary and before, just stop us from talking because we'll talk on and on. That's why we both have podcasts.
All
We
like
like these
guide
types
and
of
facilitate.
episodes where like, we have people on, they're kind of expressing who they are, and we, giving them kind of the control for the flow. But yes, if we have any questions or comments, concerns, we'll stop you.
I feel like I had a comment for Biliana. Oh, yes. Okay, so now that you're traveling, do you and you're outside, I feel like you're outside a lot in nature. Do you see the moon often more than usual? Do you connect with the moon? Has your relationship with the moon or like any aspects of nature? I know you mentioned, taking naps on the ground, so that's one, but is there anything specific, say to like the night sky or anything that, has shifted since you've been traveling and dreaming?
Um, not a lot, but it was really strange, because this is like a women thing, but we're all women here. But I don't normally record when I get my period, and for some reason I just decided to go. All right, I'm going to record this, and it was um 4 days ago, and it was right on the new moon, and I was like, that's really
Welcome
interesting.
to the New Moon Bleed Club.
I was like, what are the chances of me deciding to record and it's on a new moon like the first day? I was like, that's so cool. So
Okay, so
I
you're
suppose, like, yeah, that's been
on track.
something that's on my mind. Yeah.
You're in a
Thanks to Urania, I've been tracking now for a year, and it
Yeah.
changes the way that I understand myself. Like, I never really thought it was that big of a deal because, like, it's not really talked about growing up. Like, I feel like nobody's really like, hey, track your stuff, whatever. Um, it's kind of like here's some birth control and the birth control tracks it kind of for you. But ever since I started tracking it over the last year, I feel so much more connected with myself. It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah, how about you? How did you get into dreams and all of that stuff?
For sure. I can't exactly pinpoint when I first had an interest in dreams, but you know, sometimes you have a dream and it just stands out and you're like, oh, what did that mean? And I would say from a childhood, I've always had an interest in dreams. I always found myself looking up things in a dream interpretation book, or later when the internet came out, because I'm a little bit older, just Googling and stuff. But I always found like there was something missing from the interpretation books and from anything I found on Google. Like it seemed too generic, and it seemed like the dreams were actually much deeper than that.
Mm.
And then one of the dreams that I always had a recurring theme around was around tornadoes.
Mhm.
And often I would have dreams as well, particularly when I was in academia and just about to start my PhD, or pass the exam to continue in my PhD basically. And I was having dreams with like buildings collapsing, planes falling out of the sky. So like really massive, kind of impactful and scary dreams. I'm like, okay, there's something more here. But that was before I was really connected to the universe and really on my kind of soul and spiritual journey. What really took off dreams for me to really pay attention and really just kind of initiated everything with even starting the podcast later on was I had a visitation dream from my grandfather who had passed about 10 years before I had this particular dream. And I always wanted to have a dream where he would show up in a dream, but I didn't, I wasn't as connected to the universe. I didn't really understand everything. But when he had shown up in this dream, it felt so real. Like it really felt like his energy was there. And I mean, without going into the details of the dream, I just remember like everything was telepathic in the dream. So like I knew what he was thinking. He didn't have to say anything in the dream. And then I got the sense that he was about to go. And then I was like, but Pop, I don't know how to use my gifts. And then I like woke up. And then it just started this whole like quest of mine to figure out, okay, well, what was this gift that I need to figure out? What is this? And yeah, so that's kind of where I am with dreams now. And like Biljana, it's kind of a therapy. So if there's something I need to heal from, I definitely put that intention out to ask for that to come through in a dream. Or, if I'm seeking some sort of truth from the universe, like something that I don't understand that I want to know more about, set the intention and allow that to come through the dream space. And that's kind of where I am now.
So I have a question. Does or has your grandfather shown up in your dreams before or since then? And is he like a guide or anything for you, do you believe?
I definitely believe he's a guide of some sort. When he's in my dreams now, I would say it's more like from a lesson perspective. So it doesn't feel like the visitation dream, but it's definitely like their essence is there. And maybe it's just a part of myself that's expressing it. But yeah. And earlier in my wake up, I would say that one of the most fascinating dreams, and this is how I know that I indeed travel to other timelines and realities or whatnot, was I had visited my grandparents' house in a dream, and the entire town was like, I don't know if it was like Russian or German. It's my hometown, but it was like everything was in like Russian or German or some foreign language. And I had walked into my grandparents' like porch area, and there was for whatever reason, there was an iron plugged in. And I remember picking up the iron and I was like looking at it, and all the letters on it were like not English. They were just some foreign symbols or whatnot. And my grandparents came home, but so my grandparents, as I knew them, they were like in their 60s or so, they had gray hair and, you know, whatnot, but how they were in the dream was like when they were in their 30s, which I had only ever saw through pictures. I never actually knew them when they looked that way. And it's almost like I was viewing it like I wasn't actually there with them because they didn't see me when they walked in. There was no interaction or whatnot. But yeah, that one just really stood out to me when you asked that question. So
Interesting. Nice. There's a lot I could say with that one, but let's see
yeah.
how the podcast came to be.
Yeah. How do we want to tell that story, Biliana?
We met and then we started the podcast. The end.
Short and sweet. Yeah. It's actually another podcast that connected us. So Biliana was actually a guest on a podcast called Rock the Ripple, which is Narita McInnes, and which I was listening to at the time. I absolutely loved Rock the Ripple. It's a little sad that she stopped it now, but she's doing other amazing things, so that's fine. But I happened to be listening to this episode with Biliana, and I had heard of Biliana's name before this episode, which made me even more excited to listen to it. Biliana and I are both part of an organization or a movement called Lay Love Down, which is all about, well, the slogan is Save the Ley Lines, Save the World. And it's about getting out into nature and putting your positive intent into the ley lines to basically help Mother Earth and the planet in general raise in consciousness and for everything to be as happy as it can be. So Biliana's the social media coordinator and one of the main leaders for Lay Love Down, and I was just getting my feet wet in a leadership role with Lay Love Down as well. So when I heard that she was on Rock the Ripple, I'm like, I can't wait to listen to this episode. And they started talking about dreams. And at that time, I had actually started Dream Oracle for You about 4 or 5 months before. And I got really like they were short episodes. The first 7 episodes are all like introductory, very like 10-15 minute episodes. I would record them on my walk barefoot on the ground. So it would be like just walking around a park or whatever, recording these episodes. So it's kind of cool. You can hear like birds chirping in the background in some of the earlier episodes. But I found myself being very motivated. I would wake up and I'd have a dream like, oh, I'm going to talk about this in the podcast, everything like that. And then when I heard Biliana on Rock the Ripple, I was like, I need to have her. She needs to be a guest on my show. We need to talk about it. The first episode, or the first time we attempted to do a recording together, none of my audio recorded. All of Biliana's recorded and none of mine. So it was like, I don't know how long we chatted for, like an hour, hour and a half or whatnot. And we couldn't use any of it. I initially thought, oh, well, maybe I'll just like re-record my answers or my questions and thoughts. And it would have taken me like 15 hours to edit everything together after that. I was like, we might as well just record another episode. And by that point, I realized I'm like, no, Biliana is not meant to be a guest on the podcast. She's meant to be a co-host. And that was the start.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. It was pretty cool how it worked. And it was also the same time, like before Sarah. No, it might have been before or after. I can't remember if he'd already reached out to me, but I was having I wouldn't say nightmares, but I was awake and I felt like just bad energy was surrounding me. So and then connecting with Sarah, and she works with energies. I was like, oh, this is meant to be. So I feel like that was all essential, and it was a perfect timing. So and then since we've been doing the podcast, we're meeting different people and learning and also doing Lay Love Down. It's all connected. Still seeing where it will kind of all come together, like what we're doing. But yeah, it's really exciting. So, working with energies in different realms, in the dream realm and in the physical as well as it's different dimensions. So
That's
really
incredible.
Yeah.
What an incredible, and I really feel at this point that like there's no coincidences. I know Urania says that too. It's just the synchronicities are insane, and like the people you're meant to meet and work with will just show up when the time is right. It's same for Urania and I. Like the way that we connected was so like random. It was just so random. Like you can't. I don't think you could call it a coincidence because it was so, and it just laid everything out the way it was supposed to be. So that's incredible. I do have a question for myself and the audience. Would you be able to explain what a ley line is?
I'm gonna
Yep.
pass that one to you, Biliana, as our social representative.
So
I think that you're doing important work, and I want
yeah,
myself and the audience to really understand what it is that you guys are doing.
yeah. So basically, like everything is energy, but these are, I suppose, the lines of energy, like Mother Earth's energies. Some people can see them, some people can't. So you can think of them like meridians in your body, like that's where the energy flows in your body, and you can have blockages, things like stopping you from having the natural flow. So it's basically the same as Earth, and the energies have been used in bad ways. Over the years, rituals and all that sort of stuff. And so we're trying to invert the inverted. I think you said that the other day, Sarah. So bringing balance back to the line. So it's not like, destroying the churches and all these sacred buildings and that sort of stuff. It's about, changing, flipping the energy on them. So we're educating people that you don't have to be scared of all the bad things that are happening. Like it's bringing awareness, and that we have the power using our intention to flip the energy. So yeah, we're going to focus more on like intention, and then running, workshops and that sort of stuff using dowsing rods. Really, Sarah and Estelle really good at that. Yeah, using your voice, singing instruments, whatever it is, to bring balance, because there's no, step by step way to do it. It's really your intention is your power, and then focusing your attention where you want it to go. So hopefully that makes sense to people, but you can go on our website and learn more. There's resources and videos and that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, and we'll put the link to the website in the description of this video. Aren't the ley lines, they also have like the sacred sites are on some of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I like to think of the ley lines as the energetic highways. And so there's crossing points of ley lines on, the major sites that you can think of, Stonehenge definitely one of them, but it's so much deeper than that. Ley lines are also sometimes referred to as song lines or dragon lines as well. And so indigenous cultures are typically, they're the original stewards of the lands, and they're actually the ones that's why they sing and they dance and they do all those sorts of things, because it is building that positive energy and intent into the ley lines. But they're also built, unfortunately, like it's the path of least resistance. So a lot of roadways, especially, you know, before, they had like all the tools to be able to chop down trees and actually create roadways, the ley lines the roads would be built where ley lines are, but they're also like churches, major arenas, football arenas, that sort of thing are often on ley lines as well, because when you have a crossing of ley lines, you can have portals and vortexes to other dimensions that are also present in those spaces. And Biliana mentioned about rituals and stuff. So that's kind of the inverted energy we're talking about. So if you have any sort of satanic rituals that are happening in these spaces, then you're actually bringing in dark energies, dark entities and then they can travel through the ley lines on an energetic highway. Man, we could do a whole podcast on ley lines for sure. But I believe that ley lines are intricately connected to to the dream space as well. I definitely find myself, for one, not only doing energy work, but doing ley line work within the dream space. And also, I feel it's also one of the ways in which our conscious actually travels is through the ley lines.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It kind of brings to mind too a perspective that I've come into, I guess, realization or contact with this perspective like years ago, but now it's really starting to come through. And now with just having this conversation, I like want to explore it more, but I don't know if you're familiar with like inner earth beings. So like Mount Shasta is like one of those I guess you could say like hubs or like inner earth cities. Or it's contained within. I do with air quotes because it's not really in, but it's like another dimension within the earth. Essentially, and it makes me think of that aspect too, like that being all connected. And I've also heard like important energy vortices tend to also be kind of sync with like our major cities, not all of them, but some of them where there's a lot of activity, which makes sense with what you guys are saying is like there might be like a lot of like attraction energy to those places, but then they get clogged, they get distorted. And of course, like you have these different energies coming through that are not in the benevolence of like humanity and the earth, and so that needs to be cleared out. And so that makes complete sense to me. I totally understand that and resonate with that. And thank you so much for bringing attention to it, because it's definitely like, while I understand and know and have heard of it before, it's not something that a lot of people are talking about. But I think that like everyone has their their different focus and their gifts, and I've been seeing people showing up in their passion and their callings and benefit to the planet in their many different ways. And so, if this is, again, if you're listening, any listeners out there feel called to this or resonate with this, definitely check out the website too. And check out, of course, Sarah and Bijana's podcast, because I'm sure you kind of probably talk about it off and on in the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, well, Estelle Larson, who's our most recent episode recording, episode 44. She's actually a member of Lay Love Down. And so I do, we have bi-monthly meditations where we're actually get together and we set an intention to actually send healing and balancing energy to the ley lines. Mm-hmm. And so Estelle is actually one of our like recurring meditation goers. And that's actually how I met Estelle, and through there, there's lots more to come.
Okay. So I think a good place to kind of bring it all full circle, we just want to hear, how you implement dreams. I know you shared a little bit about what else you're doing. And so we're kind of curious of how, what either comes through the dreams or your experience with dreams, your relationship with dreams, like how does that influence what you're doing in your waking life, and of course your gifts and what you're doing here for the planet and humanity and so forth. So how does that all kind of like weave itself together for you, or if you have any practices? I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, I think I'll start on this one, Billiana, if you don't mind. I like to think about the evolution of our podcast in and of itself. And when Billiana and I first became co-hosts and started our episodes together, we very much were just curious in dreams. We knew there was something more, but we really had no idea. Like, no offense, Billiana, we didn't really know much at all. And it wasn't until we started to have guests on and started hearing other perspectives and, the different types of dreams and the different experiences that you can have in the dream space, that our awareness and knowledge started to expand. And I would say that my dream experience went from before, let's say, starting to record with Billiana, of just like, oh, there's messages that come through dreams. What did that mean? And trying to figure it out, to literally every episode that we did where we had a different guest and we learned a different topic, lucid dreaming versus out of body experiences, even just focusing on the types of symbols and stuff. My dream started to shift, and it was like I was learning and exploring or practicing in the dream space after each episode. I don't know if you had that experience, Biliana, but that's definitely something that I feel like I didn't really lucid dream or know I was lucid dreaming until after we had Melissa Johnson on for our lucid dreaming episode.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just like you've got the awareness is coming through. And I was talking about this. This is where I love life. Like the conversation I was having earlier before this, about synchronicities, but also you don't notice things until they come into your awareness. Not that they never existed, it's just they've now come into your awareness, and you're you want to buy a new car and you start seeing that one car everywhere. It's just that awareness. So like, yeah, I get what you're saying, Sarah. And I don't think it's not that we didn't know things. It's putting words to what we probably have been feeling, experiencing, to now becoming more of a knowing. And yeah, so it's been an awesome journey doing the podcast, because for me it's helped my confidence, like speaking my truth and not second guessing. That's the one thing for me. And so my dreams have been more like less fear based and anxiety based, and more like showing me what I need to possibly focus on or work on in my life. And we talk a lot about intention, setting intention before going to sleep. So I use that a lot. I'll set the intention when I wake up, and that will play out through my day and then into when I go to sleep. So yeah, it's really just integrating your dreaming as part of your life. I've talked to, there's one guy here. I'm in a marina, so there's it's a great bunch of people, a eclectic bunch, and he dreams, like he has some wild dreams. But he said they're not. He doesn't feel like they're connected. So it's quite interesting to hear about that. And I don't have really wacky dreams. I have, because I feel like I'm a simple person, that I like it practical. I get practical dreams coming through. So yeah, that's kind of how I use my dreams, the journaling, using particular frequency like music or sound before I go to sleep to help induce some sort of dream state as well. So yeah, but essentially just the healing and anything that I need to know in this moment, which will come through. So try not to force anything. So allowing what needs to come through for myself and for collective, or for the people in my life. So
Yeah. And I know that both of you have like your own practices going on, like Sarah with you, energy work, and Biljana with heart centered work as well, right? And so do you feel or do you witness like your dreams or just like what you're doing with the podcast? Do you witness that kind of bleeding into each other, or how does that work for you? Like how does that flow happen?
you go, Sarah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, one of the things that really hit home for me in this journey with the podcast, I would say, and it's really not just the podcast, it's exploring myself, Biliana, it's getting to know ourselves a little better, is there really isn't much difference between who you are when you're awake and who you are when you're asleep. Like when you go to sleep, it's just an extension of yourself, and you're exploring just as you're exploring in your waking life. And I've now lost my train of thought where I was going with that. So I'm just going to pivot and
You want me to go, and then you'll try
no,
and
I'm just going to comment. I think there's something else that I wanted to have commented, and the question threw me off. So I just wanted to speak about the importance of intention, which Biliana and I speak a lot about. It's one of the core things that we definitely brought through in our dream course as well, which the next one's coming up in March. We actually did an experiment. So this was before we had many guests. It was, I was thinking like episode 15 or something like that. And we did an experiment where we tried to have a week without any intention for our dream space. And before that, Biljana and I very much lived intentionally and also, had intentions for before we went to sleep. And I think we only got through like 3 days. We could not go an entire week of not having an intention for our dream space because the dreams were just so random. They were so, at least for me, they were random. They weren't really coherent. There was no oomph to them, it was just craziness. And we really learned from that little experiment that we had done that intention is like one of the most important things, not just for your dream space, but just in life in general.
That's
Yeah.
so interesting because coming like from me, I never put an intention into my dreams. And like I've been dreaming, lucid dreaming specifically since I was around 3. And it's so interesting how different one person's dream space is from the next and how like how the technique is different for each person and how it comes through because I feel like I struggle with the control aspect. Putting an intention in is a sense of control. And I find that, and it could also be the placements in my chart and the way that, I'm structured. But like when I put intention into my dream space, I usually don't dream. When I put effort into trying to make the dreams come, they don't usually come. I have to have a natural flow and not even think about it for everything to come through. And it's very like you said, I travel all the time. I'm constantly traveling, but the times where I'm like, I want to dream about this specific thing, or I put intention into my dreams or dream incubate, nothing shows up. So it's just so interesting how it is from person to person and how, what that means in regards to our makeup just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get what you're saying in that like it intention. I think of it as like intention is you're putting the energy into something but not kind of controlling the outcome. It's like I would love to, lucid dream or, you know, like I say whatever needs to come through for me for my highest good will come through. So it's like having a bit of structure but not controlling it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I tried that. Like I want to dream about this, or like I want to figure this out, and it never worked. Like I just no dreaming. But if you think of it as like the intention is to help shift the energy and whatever you need, rather than like you want to experience. I want to dream about horses or dragons or whatever it is. It's like focusing more on the energy aspect.
Right. Yeah, and that's usually what I would do when I was trying to dream incubate or put intention into my dreams. It wasn't like, let me dream about, mountains and
Yeah.
birds and stuff. It was that like honing in on just the thought process around it and really just, I want things to come through. It never has worked for me, which is it's just very interesting. It's very interesting when I'm in a flow state, that's when everything comes through. When I try to like think about things, that's when it kind of like disappears. And it makes sense for me as a person and the way that I move through life. It makes sense, but I love the different experiences from person to person. It's so magical and so unique and just incredible.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm sorry, Biliana, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Sarah's like helped me with like focusing more on just the energy and like shifting the energy, and even like I used to like say no, like just get rid of energy, but now it's more like shifting it and changing the way you perceive it or what else you want to replace it with,
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, that's what I want to say that. So
Transmuting it.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Alexis, that makes sense for you because when you lucid dream, it's not like you're just like you're conscious. You're not trying, you're going with the flow of the dream and not trying to like change anything. For me, I would say when it comes to intentions with dreams, like I kind of wax and wane. So that's kind of my flow state. Like sometimes I'm really intentional. When I really got into intentional dream work, I mean, it was a whole like practice with the moon, like a 28-day cycle. I always recommend that, you know, if people really want to, I guess, get the best or the most out of their dream practice, or more so even highlight your dreaming patterns, your emotional patterns, like what's like coming forth for you right now. I always recommend that people, you know, do your best to pay attention to your dreams, hopefully journal your dreams for 3 lunar cycles. And like that number 3, that's the baseline frequency to really like identify a pattern. So if you're paying attention to your dreams, for that cycle for 3 cycles, you'll definitely get something out of it, whether you're like intentional for every single dream or just intentional with that overall, you know, experience and journey. And for me, I feel like when I'm the most like when my intention is very important to me, like it's the most meaningful, that's when I, you know, achieve or receive whatever, you know, I set the intention to be. And that's one of the things I guide and teach too, is like you want your intention to be like meaningful and impactful. Because if it's something like, oh, you know, I want to visit this one place in my dreams because, you know, people say it's really cool. Or like, I just want to lucid dream. Okay, that's cool. But why do you want to do it? Like, why is this important for you? How is this going to be meaningful and impactful for your life moving forward? And it was a period where we were facilitating a lucid dream circle or in preparation. And we were talking about talking to people in your dreams. And so for a long time, I had an ex-boyfriend that would always come in my dreams, and it was really annoying. I was like, why are you here? So when we were having this conversation about talking to dream people when you're lucid, it was like immediately, because I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, when I'm lucid again, I'm going to talk to him. And it was like within a couple days, probably within 3 days, he was in my dream and I talked to him, and it was a whole transformative experience. And so I think when it comes to like the intention setting, like you said, Biljana, like, you know, set the intention, but also let go and release that control to like how it should show up. And also be sure that the intention is meaningful and purposeful for you. And that will likely increase the chances of it, you know, coming to fruition and you having that experience.
I also
Yeah.
want to say that, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
I was just going to say the other thing it could be too is that maybe I'm just not aware of my intentions since I've been doing it for so long. The intention's been there for so long that it's not in the forefront of my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. I was just about to say that. It's even just bringing awareness is like that's all it needs is just the awareness of whatever you want to focus on. Um, and again, I was talking about this morning is having awareness. Oh,
Oh, look at that coming full circle. I love
I
that.
know, right?
So, is there anything else, any last shares that you want to bring forth before we wrap it up here?
Ooh.
I'll just extend the intention conversation just a little bit. And that's just to, you know, because we're the 4 of us are clearly very experienced dreamers. And, you know, so much so that Alexis, what you said resonates with me, that your intention is likely there. It's just not at the forefront of your conscious because it's working its way in the background. You don't have to think about it. But for anybody new to even just paying attention to their dreams, often what we've encountered is that people don't remember their dreams, or they don't even think that they've had a dream. And so just having a shift in your intention to actually remember your dreams is actually game changer. And that was actually some of the feedback that we got from Estelle, and when she gave feedback on the course in the last episode, was the power of intention to set that to help you remember your dreams. And like, you know, before you go to bed, you're setting the intention that when I wake up, I will remember my dreams. It's very powerful.
So,
Yeah, love that.
go ahead.
What was I was going to say? I suppose, like for me, and with the dreaming, and even just with my everyday life, is if is really connecting with your heart. So that's pretty much what I focus on with everything I do is and you can say that and people are like, what does that mean? And it's really just feeling into your own body. Like when you someone asks you, uh, can you take me to down to the street for like drive me down to the street? How does that make you feel? Do you want to do it or you don't want to do it? Like even just simple things like that. So when it comes to everything in your life and your dreaming is sit with it, um and yeah, really feel into it with your heart and um yeah, allowing life to unfold as it's supposed to.
Yeah, I there's some self-preservation to making decisions and really leaning into what is best for you and what the results will be. I think that a lot of people they do things just because they feel like they have to, and in a way it sets them back. Whereas once you start to kind of lean into your own self and recognize what like you said, what you do want to do versus what you don't want to do, and making those decisions and seeing where the path lies, like some people may not be happy with you, but at the end of the day that self-preservation is life changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'll just add um, to the point of focusing on what you do want versus not what you want, because the universe doesn't exactly know the distinction between the two. And so if you're focusing on what you don't want, it's actually, you're just going to actually attract more of what you don't want to yourself. And so really
Absolutely.
being clear about what you do want is the most important. And that from a very personal perspective has been really at the forefront for me uh, currently because of the upcoming big debut that's coming up for me in hopefully a couple of weeks, hopefully not too much sooner. And that's just being clear on what I want my birthing process to look like, not focusing on what I don't want to have happen, but just putting the intention out there on the experience that I want to have and trusting universe that that's going to come through.
Nice. Beautiful. Well, this was amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And I feel that this was like an introduction episode because we're definitely going to have you two back on at
Yeah.
some. So do you want to tell everyone where they can find you, your work, and your podcasts?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're dreamoracleforyou.com, and that is the number 4 and the letter U. You can book to be a guest on our show through our website as well. We're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, pretty much all the socials. We're on Apple Podcasts now as well. And personally, if you're interested in any sort of energy management sessions, I'll share the link for that as well with you, Urania and Alexis. You can put in the show notes because I do offer one-on-one sessions to help people manage their energy. But that's also a link through our Dream Oracle for You website as well.
Yeah. 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 Everything that you need to know about us is on the Dream Oracle for You website. Yeah, Sarah's personal services, as well as I got a course coming up in January, and it's called the Heart Space. So, um, it's basically connecting with your heart. So we go through what the heart is, how you can connect with your heart, and you can use everything we learn in the course to every aspect of your life, because it's not a specific modality. It's like basically remembering who you are. And so all the flies are annoying. um, Reconnecting with yourself and really feeling into you know who you are and what you're supposed to be doing in this world. Like a simple question I normally ask people is, what is it that you wanted to do when you're a child? Because you are so pure when you're a child. You haven't got all the extra layers that we've got when we're an adult. So a simple question like that can be quite heart opening for so many people to think about that and bring awareness to that. And yeah, so that's in January, and that's on on the link to my website is on Dream Oracle. So yeah, everyone can check it out there.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Everyone that's listening, we would love to hear your thoughts and your perspectives. Any questions in the comments below. And please like the video if you enjoy this and follow and subscribe. So thank you and have sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.